I've failed terribly in over 30 relationships.
In over 30?
Over 30, they could be even 50. It made me engage into very risky sexual behaviors. So I used to think I have superpowers, I'm being escorted by angels.
Hello Tuko family, and welcome to another episode of my story. Now, my guest today is special because he is a man of many hats. He's your motivational speaker, a pastor, a gospel artist, and a lawyer. I call him the singing lawyer. But today he's here to share a story of the things he's struggled with. He has been struggling with bipolar disorder that makes him hear voices. So he's here to tell us how he overcame all those challenges and became a brilliant lawyer. He tells me he doesn't remember the last time he lost a case. Welcome so much to this show.
Thanks a lot. I'm glad to be here.
So first of all, tell us where you were born, where do you come from? How would you describe yourself?
Most of my childhood, I stayed in a slum called Mudhurwa, Apo Tao. My dad worked in railways. He was a yard foreman. And my mom was a business lady. Yeah, that's where I grew up, then later moved to Langata.
When you were young, did you struggle with the symptoms of this disorder, and how was it for you?
First of all, bipolar disorder is a condition that makes you to have extreme shifts in moods and energy and behavior. Extreme shifts in moods particularly, and energy. So sometimes you are happy, excited, you are up there, you are excited, you are happy, you are overelated, and sometimes you are depressed. So that's why it's called bipolar. Right. Two poles, happiness and two extremes, the extreme. And then bipolar disorder, there are three types. Bipolar 1, which means if you don't take medication, you become manic and you can lose your mind. And then there's bipolar 2, which has hypomania and depression. Bipolar 1 is manic and depression. So manic means you can lose your mind. Right. You can be over-excited, happy, and you lose your mind. Hypomania is a mild form of manic. And then there's cyclothymic disorder, which is just an exaggerated mood swing, but it's not as severe as bipolar 1 and 2. So me, I battle the worst form of bipolar.
The most severe one.
Yes, the most severe one called bipolar 1, which means if I don't take medication, I lose my mind. And when there's a relapse, I can lose my mind.
When you were young, what are the kind of symptoms you struggled with when you were a little child?
When I was a little child, all I can remember in primary school, I used to be, sometimes I'm very excited, I have high energy, making a lot of noise in class, composing music, and people are in class, and even up to date, some of my classmates remind me of what I used to do. They used to call me a weird person or mad person and stuff because of things I used to do in childhood. I can't remember much, but all I can remember was I was a noisemaker in class, and also sometimes I used to suffer depression. I withdraw from other students and they ask me what's wrong, and the moods has shifted to now depression and feeling low. Low self-esteem, lack of energy even in playing, And
you struggled with that all through high school?
Yes, I struggled with that. Even high school, I remember my classmates calling me that name, Mad. They used to call me a weird person and mad,
And that affected you?
Yeah. So you see, when you are in the manic state of bipolar, you can't really recall what you used to do. Only people can. Only significant occasions is what you can remember.
Tell me about your experience in college and you trying to pursue one course, then discovering this is not going to work, and then deciding to pursue another. Take us through that.
So I was, the first course I was called to do in Nairobi University was economics and sociology. That was in 2002. But before that, I was diagnosed as suffering from bipolar 1 disorder in the year 2000.
That time you were in high school or college?
That time I had just finished high school.
Okay.
So what I can remember is I was tied up and taken to a hospital because now I was manic and I'd lost my mind completely. All I can remember is that I became a prophet suddenly, and I was preaching to people in town, disturbing the peace of people, especially at night. I was preaching at night, and even preaching to prostitutes in town. I can remember there was this club called F1. I used to frequent that club, just talking and preaching and just trying to convince the prostitutes to join church. Interestingly, some of them quit the streets after me convincing them to get out of the streets, but they didn't know I'd lost my mind. Yeah, so all I remember is that I was just because I refused to go to the hospital. I didn't see anything wrong with me, but I was tied up and taken to Nairobi West Hospital. Yeah,
that's where they diagnosed you.
That's when I was diagnosed as. By then, it was called manic depression. In the year 2000. Nowadays it's called bipolar. They removed the term manic depression because of stigma associated with the term manic. Yeah. So then I joined campus in the year 2002 at the onset of bipolar 1 disorder. And it was tough because some students knew about me. So word spread. This guy is mad, this guy is weird. And
so the stigma sets in.
The stigma set in. You're walking in maybe from hostel to class, unasikia niaje chizi. So what happened, I didn't go to most of the classes because now of stigma. And then remember this medication that you take, 7 tablets, and you take them every day, especially when you have an episode. So you take antipsychotic medications, antidepressants, and you take mood stabilizers, and also medication to help you sleep. Right. So I used to sleep a lot when I was in the hostels at Nairobi University.
At that time, you're supposed to be in class.
I'm supposed to be in class, and I'm afraid of going to class because people are labeling me. When I'm among students and I do something funny, you hear people telling you, "Kweli dawa za wazimu zimeisha."
Oh my goodness!
So I used to avoid. I lived an isolated and very unhappy life in campus. So I failed in 16 units.
That's when you were supposed to be clearing your accounting.
Yes, I remember I failed some units in first year. Yeah, I failed some units in second year, third year, and fourth year. And there were about 16 in total. So I didn't graduate. Yeah.
So what did you do at that point?
Yeah, and remember during this period, there's something called a relapse, where now you become manic or depressed and you have to be hospitalized. So between the period of 4 years, I relapsed about 6 times, where I was literally tied and taken to a psychiatric ward.
Is it because you had stopped taking your medication, or sometimes these things just happen?
Sometimes, even if in bipolar disorder, even if you take medication properly, sometimes the relapse can just occur. Yeah, but if you don't take medication, it's certain that it will occur, and it can happen faster. But now I used to take medication well, but sometimes just the thoughts, because it's a battle of thoughts in your mind, and sometimes you can't, even if you're taking medication, and then you relapse. And so I didn't pass in 16 units, and I didn't graduate.
Did you disappoint your parents? What were the
No, you see, by now they had understood
Right.
My dad passed away when I was in high school, so I've been raised up by my mother most of my childhood. So they knew about my condition, so they kind of understood when I didn't pass. Yeah.
So you decided to start all over again?
Then I started all over again. I took a period, I took a rest period for 2 years. Then I started studying law from the same university again. And remember, in the year 2000, I was a gospel artist.
Allah.
So I used to be called Gospel Dynamite, and I had almost 3 songs in the charts nationally. Yeah, I can remember Victory Dance, Chumalo, and Tumbo were in top 10. So I used to be a celebrity, and the stress is what triggered bipolar to manifest, because sometimes I used to go to 5 concerts in a day.
Oh, and
you sing here, you sing there, and it was very stressful. And that's what bipolar is, something that you're born with, and it waits for a point in time for it to manifest.
Like a trigger.
Yes, a trigger for it now to start manifesting. When something it's in your blood, waiting for it to manifest.
Do you have relatives that have struggled with the same condition? Is it hereditary?
Yes, in the extended family.
Okay.
Yeah, because bipolar is genetic. They say it's genetic. Sometimes it's your brain chemistry, chemicals, either shortage or excess. Yeah. The dopamine, serotonin, neurotransmitters in the brain, there's deficiency, and then the medication now helps you to do it.
To stabilize all these chemicals.
But doctors have not yet discovered the exact cause of bipolar. They just speculate.
So you have to take medication for the rest of your life.
Bipolar has no cure.
Right.
Yeah, so you take medication for the rest of your life. It's a lifelong disease.
You told me that you had struggled with this condition for such a long time in that it actually also affected your relationships.
Yes.
Take us through this. What happened?
Of course, when you are a teenager and you are a young man out there, you desire to have relationship with the female gender as a man. But I have failed terribly since the onset, 23 years now. I've failed terribly in over 30 relationships.
In over 30?
Over 30. They could be even 50, but I'm sure they're over 30. 30 because, because of the condition, you keep on trying. Because now a relationship can last even for 3 or 6 months, and it's over, or 2 months. Because now you are in, especially at the onset, it's when there was frequent breakups. Because now you are in a relationship with a lady, especially I remember a girl who I still remember, she was doing engineering. So we were in the same campus. Me, I'm doing economics and she's doing engineering. And when I had a trigger and I relapsed and I was hospitalized, that is how the relationship ended.
So there was no closure, nothing?
Kuna alienda na kanizimia simu, and that is how the relationship ended. And many others. There's another one, I remember she was doing teaching course, and it ended because of a psychotic episode.
So normally most of these relationships end when you have an episode. Yeah,
but now, like 5 years ago, from 5 years ago to now, they don't end because of a trigger. They end because of the mild symptoms of bipolar, being irritable and kukasirika haraka. Yeah, so a lady does something small and you have just blown up, and that's how the relationship.
Can't handle this.
Yeah, and she can't handle. She doesn't even understand why you are mad at something very small, and then the relationship ends like that. Because one of the symptoms of bipolar is irritability, kukasirika haraka, and hypersexuality, where now your libido is very high, and it made me engage into very risky sexual behaviors.
What do you mean risky sexual?
Risky sexual behaviors, because I used to seek the services of ladies of the night, prostitutes sometimes. Sometimes it took me deep into even going to the slums. I remember in Majengo. Yeah. To seek, because they are cheap.
I didn't even know this.
I knew all the corners where to find prostitutes to help me calm me down in the urges.
Did you ever get married, like stay with a woman for how long was your longest relationship?
The longest relationship was 1 year, and it's because the lady was a student and far away in Eldoret. So staying together so that there's that friction didn't happen a lot, because she's now far away. She used just to visit. That's why it took time for us.
That's the longest one.
Yeah, that's the longest, 1 year.
Wow.
Yeah, but mostly it's just 6 months. I can try 6 months, but mostly it's just a month.
Goodness. But you still haven't given up in this.
I haven't given up. I keep on trying. Keep on trying. Yeah.
What's your ideal type of woman? What do you look for in a woman when you're dating and when you're looking for a partner?
Well, a hard-working woman, God-fearing. Yeah, and we are good to go.
Did you hear that? So you hard-working and God-fearing. We have a gentleman right here for you. All right, tell me about your legal side.
Yeah.
You're a brilliant lawyer, and you tell me that you don't remember losing.
Yes,
a
I
case.
don't remember losing any case. Yeah, most of the cases I've handled, I've won. But because of now stigma, even some of my colleagues, lawyers, see now I disclosed I'm battling bipolar around 2018. And before that, nobody knew I had the condition. Nobody knew, they just saw me as a normal person. But when I disclosed that I'm battling bipolar, now stigma from my colleagues. You know, I wanted to help people out there
to understand
the condition that people are battling mental illnesses and they can achieve a lot in life, to encourage those who are also battling mental illnesses. Because in the world, there are over 200 types of mental illnesses. Yeah, there are over 200 types. So there are people suffering from schizophrenia, bipolar, ADHD, post-traumatic. The list is endless. And in Kenya, the statistics are that 1 out of 10 Kenyans are battling
a mental health disorder.
Those like 4-5 million Kenyans.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And the statistics also is that 1 out of 4 will suffer a mental illness at one point in their life. Yeah, so that's now 10 million people will battle a type of, and during COVID, the statistics increased. So that's why I came out to help people. And once I came out, now I lost clients, I lost friends, and then labeling. You know, you are arguing with the lawyer, in a discussion, then they just tell you, because of your mental condition,
I won't engage you
any further. Yeah, so I've been called mad. Recently, there was a senior counsel in social media, imagine, is calling me, is saying, I won't engage you because you are a mad person. You disclose that you suffer from bipolar disorder. And because you are a mad person, I don't want you to kuniambukiza your madness.
Sure.
That's a senior,
person.
Somebody I look up to. Because just I told him something
that they don't agree.
Yeah.
So how do you handle this stigma that is thrown at you?
Initially, it made me relapse, maybe like 2 times. Because I disclosed and I thought people will be supportive. But now after disclosing, it's when now people... So it made me now be hospitalized. There was a time I wanted just to commit suicide. But the intervention of my brother, mother, and a few friendly lawyers, they just came and talked me out of committing the act, because now the stigma was too much.
Right now, you're taking medication to try and balance the emotion.
Yes, I take a medication every night. Yeah.
Does it affect you? How?
It affects. There are side effects. Like weight gain, you can see the way I'm big. And then they make you sleep a lot. And then they increase your libido and you become hypersexual. Those are some of the symptoms of the side effects of the medication. Yeah, but I try to counter that by going to the gym, trying to eat less, but still, because it's a battle throughout the life.
Why did you choose to come to the public with this condition? One, it was to educate people.
Yes.
And is there any other reason that pushed you to do this?
Majorly it's just to educate people, because after noticing that there are so many people, and I wanted to be like a role model to other people, not to give up, because now they see me as an advocate, somebody, because the law is a very, very taxing course to do in Kenya. I was in Nairobi University for 4 years studying law. Then after that, you go to Kenya School of Law. And that is where now a lot of students fail. And some people give up in Kenya School of Law. And those are normal people. They give up literally.
Yet you succeeded.
They give up. They fail even 7 times in Kenya School of Law. But I figured that since I was able to do the 4 years, and I passed Nairobi University, one of the most taxing courses to do in the country, after medicine, engineering, architecture, law. and then passing Kenya School of Law, being admitted to the bar. So I thought I could have been an inspiration to those who are battling other mental illness.
The reason I'm asking is because you mentioned that you're in several groups that consist of people who are also struggling with the same condition.
Yes, I'm in 10 WhatsApp groups.
Right.
Of people battling bipolar. There's Bipolar Society of Africa, Bipolar Heroes, Schizoaffective Group, there's Stand Out for Mental Health, and 6 other more. And these are people who are inspired by me, you know.
Right.
Yeah, having achieved a lot in life in spite of battling the worst type of mental illness, bipolar 1 disorder. Yeah.
So at least the groups help, you know, because you understand each other and you know the type of things.
It's like a support group.
Is it difficult or easy to get medication for these conditions in Kenya?
To see a psychiatrist, I pay 5,000 shillings per visit. And
how many times do you need to see one in a month, for example?
You need to see him every month, but me avoid because of the fee to see the medication. And the medications are very expensive because you can spend even 300 a day cost of medication.
And you need to take them every day.
And you have to take them every day.
So for people who don't have a job, that's another expense.
That is why you find people who are having mental illnesses in the streets. These are people who can't afford even to go to the cheapest mental institution, Madare Hospital. They can't afford even to go there. Yeah.
Does NHIF cover this medication?
No.
Oh,
yeah.
That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me about the worst experience you've had in one of the episodes you've experienced. What happened?
I remember in college, I was just walking. I can remember I was just walking. It was raining. Then I was walking and a car splashed water on me. I was headed to Kiss radio studios to deliver my music. And a car just splashed water on me. And then it triggered now my moods to change.
To the extreme.
To the extreme, So from town to Westlands, I remember carrying stones and I was just knocking cars that were splashing water on me. And then I remember I said I'm not even boarding a matatu. I will walk. And I walked up to Lion, I don't know, it's called Leon Place. And when I reached there, I was so mad at the vehicles, you know, and I saw they were not even stopping at people at the zebra crossing. So I remember I said I'm camping here even for 2 hours. I'm going to teach these cars a lesson. So sometimes I could sit in front, because you know I'm a lawyer. I understand my rights. And you can do anything at a zebra crossing.
Oh.
Yeah, you can even sleep there.
Allah, no one will touch you.
No, if you are touched, they are the ones who are wrong. Yeah. So the drivers understood. I was like, you have to stop and let people cross. And I was just there, saa zingine nimekaa nimelala, and the cars, I caused traffic jam all the way to from Leon's Place to, I remember then some cops came and they talked me out of it, and then I said sawa, and now walk to Kiss FM studios. So that's one of the worst things I can remember. Yeah. Of course, the low side, those being driven by hypersexuality, driving you to the slums to look for, you know, those are my lowest moments. Yeah.
Right now you actually struggle with, you know, coming out and telling people what you're dealing with and having to experience their reaction towards you.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially with
for now, because you know I have to eat. I have to eat. I have to pay bills. So I've slowed down on explaining to people about bipolar because I realized that I'm scaring away even potential clients who can give me work to represent them in court. So I'm doing a balancing act in my social media and also just talking mildly about it, because now you can, that's what clients do. If they see a lawyer they want to hire, they go to your social media handles. Now, what type of a lawyer is this? Then they go there and discover, oh, this guy is battling bipolar, and I've lost many cases because of that. Yeah, and some there are some people who have called me and told me that they have referred clients to me, but they went to your social media, Facebook, and found out that you're bipolar, and they refused
to take you up.
Yeah, to give you the case. Yeah, I've been called. Yeah. They're telling me now you have to choose, either go slow on talking about bipolar or you lose clients.
But you're still talking about it. What's your plan?
So me, I get clients maybe one in 2 months, one in 3 months. Enough just to put food on the table, because it's a sacrifice. Because I had to sacrifice reducing clients or educating the population on bipolar. So I chose to be a role model to people, telling people you can be okay. It's okay not to be okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can actually just become a brilliant lawyer like you are.
Yes.
And you're still balancing this.
And it's only because of stigma, because you can, if people were to come out, you'll be surprised at how many people are. I can mention top people, like, because they have come out, like Rachel Shebesh, Mariah Carey, Kanye West, they're battling bipolar. Gomez.
People,
yeah, those are top,
So someone who's watching you out there and they're looking up to you and they want to know how it is that you came out of this stigma and became a brilliant lawyer, and you're out here encouraging people. What is the one thing you would advise them to do, especially if they're struggling with a particular mental disorder?
Most of the mental illnesses are just a battle of thoughts. It's just thoughts. Even bipolar, it's just, most of it is just battling thoughts. Even depression.
These are thoughts you can't control.
Yeah, no, you can control them. That's why I'm saying, now since it's a disorder of thoughts, because at the onset when I was beginning to battle bipolar, I used to hallucinations. You see things, you smell things.
You hear voices.
You hear voices, yeah? And then delusions. These are wrong beliefs that you hold about yourself. Me, I used to think sometimes I'm a very important person. I've dropped from heaven. I have superpowers, because I used to walk from Ngumo, because I'm coming now to town to preach to the prostitutes and people in the streets. At sometimes 2 a.m. in the morning, walking from Ngumo to town.
Dangerous.
And I wear the gown, wakili. So I used to think I have superpowers. I'm being escorted by angels to town.
Could you actually see these angels?
I couldn't see them, but I believe.
It's just all in your head.
Yeah, it's just all in my head, and delusions. And I remember walking to Intercontinental Hotel and sitting. I'm broke, but I've entered. I just ordering stuff, and they come and serve me. And hey, wakili, ametoka up in a gown. And I drink just water and those nuts that they put on the table and say, no, I won't order today. Then I go. So I had to have delusions, and then there's paranoia. Paranoia, now you imagine people are following you, you are paranoid. You think there are people following, because I used to think there are people actually following me and want to kill me because, So what I will encourage people is just to know how to control the thoughts. Because me, after what has made me to be stable for a long period, I haven't seen my psychiatrist for almost 4 years.
That's nice.
Yeah. So what has made me to be stable is to counter the thoughts and to be able to know how to deal with them. Thoughts that come and they're not true. I've come to think that they're not true. Things I'm seeing, even if I'm in my room and I see things, I know it's bipolar. I've known it's bipolar. Yeah.
So you can actually convince yourself.
Yeah, I can convince myself that it's not true. Thoughts like delusions, I convince myself that those things are telling you that you are important and stuff. Even right now, I'm still singing, and sometimes those thoughts come that, hey, when you superstar, when you wakili, I said, no, it's not true. I be realistic.
How can people get in touch with you if they need maybe advice or even to support you with this job that you've taken up to educate people?
0702 728 203. Yeah, 0702 728 203. And I'm in Facebook, Samuel Ochieng, in Instagram, Samuel Ochieng, Twitter, Samuel Ochieng. Yeah. Yeah.
What is your parting shot as you conclude? Is there one thing that you would like to tell people right now before we end up?
Yeah. What I would like to tell the masses out there, if you're not battling the condition, please reduce the stigma, because these people who are battling mental illnesses already have to take medication, they have to fight the thoughts, they have to fight the condition, they have to, battle so many things that are brought about by the condition. So now if you add stigma to it, they have to now battle again another thing called stigma. And it escalates the condition in them. Because stigma drove me to relapse many times. It's not fair to pass judgment and to ridicule people suffering from mental illnesses. And nowadays we have Google. You can Google and you see that it's not a character flaw in people. It is just a mental illnesses brought about by genetics or chemical imbalances in the brain. So at the tip of your phone, you can just Google what is bipolar, what is schizophrenia. Yeah. And once you educate yourself, I think the stigma will reduce.
I want you to give a message to all the girlfriends, all the exes that you've had. What is the one thing you would want them to understand? They probably didn't know what you were struggling with. Yeah. And they ended things abruptly with no closure. Yeah. What is the one thing you would want them to know?
Yeah, for my 30
plus
for my 30 plus ex-girlfriends, and you see I'm still here, and I wish you could just have given me time to prove to you that I'm a normal human being. But you see, I have goals, and I've made it. I'm a lawyer. If you find another person who is battling a mental condition, just understand. If you love the person, understand and support, and you'll see how far you can go.
All right.
Yeah.
What is the one thing you would like support with? Right now, if someone called you and they want to support you in whatever way, what is the one wish you have?
What my wish is that wale wamebarikiwa kwa mfuko, if you are financially stable,
na ni wengi,
nitupia kitu kidogo. I don't have clients because of coming out publicly. Like right now, I have rent arrears, I have to buy medication, and I get one client in maybe 3 months because of disclosing that I'm battling bipolar. So that's the only way you can help me, and even call and just say, we are happy, we are supporting you, keep on going. And financial support for now will really help me, because niko na bills, madawa, rent. Yeah.
Do you have kids?
I don't have kids. And one more thing, I'm an employment law expert. That is the area I specialize in. I've represented many people in the Employment and Labor Relations Court. So ukiwa hapo nje umefukuzwa kazi kiolela,
wakutafute. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Samuel, for agreeing to come all the way here and giving us your time, your insights, sharing your experiences with us, and trusting us with your story. We do appreciate you, and we wish you the very best. Well, there you have it. That has been the story of Samuel. You've had the struggles that he has undergone. You've heard that this man is still determined to make something out of his experience and to help people out there to come out and seek help. Thank you so much for staying with us till the end of the show. My name is Yvonne Kawira, and until next time, keep it Tuko.